Good morning, everybody. My name is John. I'm a weapon of mass instruction. And here's a whacked out theory for y'all. I was reading through an ebook I found called Earth's Forbidden Secrets. And I'm on a section called Out of Place Artifacts. And I don't know how many of you have done any research on this, and this is something I never knew until very recently. But apparently there have been several instances where people have found stuff like, at one point somebody found a gold chain, somebody found a brass bell with an iron clapper, somebody found an iron pot, all within lumps of coal, which, as we already know, is formed over millions of years from basically, I think it's dead animal parts, I don't know. Well, it's formed over millions of years through pressure. It's pretty much how coal forms. And all of these lumps of coal and all this stuff were dated to hundreds of millions of years old. Like anywhere from 290 million years to 350 million years old. Which is crazy, if it's true. These all happened like in, some pretty old times, like the early 1900s and stuff, so it's hard to prove or disprove something like that at this point. But there's multiple cases of this happening, as well as we already seen evidence of high levels of technology with ancient people, like when they built the Great Pyramid at Giza. There's an incidence of 700 ton blocks of stone at I can't remember the name of the town, but it had the name Baal in it, Baal, in Lebanon, and that was during the height of the Roman Empire. Apparently this temple to Zeus was built, and it was like way out in the middle of nowhere with these massive blocks that may have been placed there or may have been pre-existing. So here's my crazy theory for y'all. What if we're living in a Mass Effect type scenario? Alright? So we all have the stories of how the Anunnaki came and created humanity, right? What if a long ass time ago on Earth humanity evolved, like a lot longer ago than people think, or humans originally came to Earth from another world, and these extremely high-tech humans either made their way off-world via starships, or this group of humanity that came to Earth, a faction of them split off and left again. And what if they had a completely artificial space station, like on the order of the size of a planet? Thinking Death Star style. And they periodically come back in to purge whatever humans have gained a high level of technology on planet Earth. Let me see. We have definitive records back to about 3,600 years. Past that, it's kind of a mystery. We have stories, but not really facts or really concrete knowledge. What if this 3,600 year cycle is something like the whole 50 million year cycle of Mass Effect? I'm sure a lot of you have played that. If you haven't played it, look up the storyline for all three games. It's fucking epic. I'm talking like each game is anywhere from 50 to 150 hours of playtime. So all through this trilogy, if you go through as much as you possibly can, you're looking at a good at least 500 hours of playtime. So what if BioWare, when they made Mass Effect, somebody there actually knew about this? Okay, we already had this theory of like basically putting future events into games and movies and TV shows. All right, pre-programming or predictive programming. It gets into our mindset and it stays there because, let's face it, if you have played through any of the Mass Effect games, you might not remember specific details of it, but you remember the overall storyline. And if you play through the whole trilogy like I have, that storyline is pretty much ingrained in your head. I don't need to play it again because I already know how it starts, how it finishes up, and everything. Alexis, you okay? Okay, carry on. She's such an adorable girl. Right. So, what if this race of beings comes back every so many years to cull the humans? Why would they do that? Well, it sounds like real evil shit to us, but think about the way the storyline worked in Mass Effect. The idea was that, for whatever reason, organic life was incapable of getting past the warring faction stage of interstellar, contact, galactic civilization. They could not get to that state where basically whatever would happen was basically their technology would get to the point where, like, any artificial intelligence that they develop is going to either cause destruction of all organic life or threaten the Reapers. If I remember correctly, the whole idea was they needed to keep calling back the organic life, and at the same time they would basically take the sentient souls of these organics, it's pretty much what it came down to, and assimilate them. Does that make sense? Because they only ever went for sentient beings, i.e. they have a soul, pretty much is what it comes down to. So, if we go along this line of thought, then what level of technology for humanity would cause this to happen? Where it's a cycle of events where it takes X amount of years for us to get this level of technology. Well, flight to the moon, we do have the technology. I'm still on the fence as to whether we actually went to the moon, or at least the televised events, whether those are actual moon landings. Because I have seen evidence that supports that they were done on a stage. But I have no doubt in my mind that at some point or another, humans have gone to the moon untelevised, secretly. Which makes sense. They're going to do something of that magnitude. They're probably not going to show everybody what they found, especially if they found something that goes against what they want us to think. Alexis, you okay? What's broken? On your house?
No.
castle for Brody?
No, I'm building a
A house for Brody? Well, you can fix it, right? There you go. Is that better? The truck? Where's the truck go? On Elmo? Okay. That's better, right? Right, so I'm going to have to cut this off pretty soon. But we were talking about this cycle and a certain level of technology that humans get to, or don't quite get to, before we get called back to the Iron Age, or the Bronze Age, or the Stone Age. Here's a fucked up scenario. We have this perspective of being part of the masses, and we're looking at this global conspiracy as if the elite, the Illuminati, the Order, whatever we want to call them, are the bad guys. If they know that this is the case, that we're looking at a Mass Effect type event soon in the future, and this is going to sound really weird, but what if they're doing humanity a favor by killing 95% of the global population and hiding the rest under the ground? What if they know that this alien race or this race of creators is going to come back and wipe us back into the Stone Age, and the only way to keep our modern level of technology is to go into these deep underground military bases? You think that's possible? Do you think that's what their plan is all along? I know it sounds like really fucked up, but I mean, good and evil is always going to depend on the perspective of the individual. If you think about it, like hypothetical situation, if you're the ruler of a population, and your choice is to let that population grow geometrically until it is impossible to have a high level of civilization for each and every household, and the vast majority of people end up living like slaves, or cutting back the population so that the ones that are left, for the most part, can live pretty comfortably. You know, with less pollution and less waste, less, a more ecological solution. Like, some mind-blowing shit, right? And how many video games have they had out there where you have to make a decision like that as the main character? Fable, was it Fable 1 had it? Mass Effect had it. I think there were some Star Wars games like Knights of the Old Republic that had it. I think some of the Elder Scrolls games had it. These decision-making points in the game where you affect how everything else plays out as a result of your choices that you make. Maybe they're trying to send a message that way. What if the Bible story of Revelation is what's left over from ancient history of the last time humanity got culled? Maybe that's why across the world all these end time prophecies are coming true, because we're about to get harvested. Could that be? Could that be? I don't know. But can't remember who uploaded this series of videos. It's like, I think it was 7 parts, and it was called With Eyes to See. And when I first started watching these videos, it didn't make any sense to me. And then by the time I was done with the 7th video, like things started clicking. And it started making a horrifying kind of sense. And so I turned it off, and I don't know if he's going to do any more of those. I'm probably going to watch him if he does, but look that up, With Eyes to See. And try to bend your mind around it. Try to think outside of the box about it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's all I got for now. Just putting that out there. Give me your feedback, honest thoughts. For some reason, my email doesn't give me notifications of every single reply I get on the comments, but I'll try to get, I'll be able to read them. I might put up like an overall reply to everybody. Or if I can get onto the browser on my phone at all, I'll be able to do it that way. But just one of those what-if situations where the whole world as we know it is completely different from what we expect. What if the Order is the good guys? And their whole effort of killing off 95% of us is to save what's left of humanity so that we retain our level of technology so that the next time whoever it is comes back around, humanity as a whole is ready for them. Is that a possibility? Are their goals that far-reaching? And if you think about it, the only way to get there would be to act as an extremely powerful elite group with absolute power over humanity and guiding us in that direction behind the scenes. But that's what it's looking a lot like, isn't it? Don't you think? Or maybe I'm turning into some fucking MK Ultra drone, I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Just putting it out there. I gotta get back to the princess. Y'all stay safe. Peace.